Hey guys, so today I'm talking about the vegetable garden, and this is something you need to add to your vegetable garden soil once you've pulled out your dying and your plants that have ended for the season. As you can see, a lot of things like this squash have ended, cucumbers, they're all gone, and even my peppers are starting to slow down in production. So what we need to do is add this to the soil once in the fall and again in the springtime. This will cut down on diseases and insect problems for next year's garden, and it will make it so much easier. So let's head into the greenhouse and I'll show you how to make this super simple recipe. Now, I live in zone 7A in the southeastern part of the United States, and we have extremely humid summers, and that's accompanied with lots of insect problems and lots of disease pressure. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the garden. So doing this little preventative maintenance at the fall and then once again in the springtime can really cut down on the problems in your soil, and it's not going to harm your soil, but it's going to make it even better for next year's crop. So I have two main ways I apply this to the garden soil, and if you're just doing one raised bed or if you're doing an entire vegetable garden, that's going to depend on what size container you need. If you're just doing a small area, you could use something like one of these battery operated 20-volt sprayers, and they're really great. I have two of these I use around the garden. Also, if you want to go with a less expensive alternative, this is a 6-gallon hose-in spray. You just hook it up to the end of your hose once you mix this recipe and overspray your garden with it. And I would recommend doing each garden area, 4x8 is my garden beds. So I would recommend doing about a 60 to a minute and a half spray on those areas that allow this liquid to get down into the soil and eliminate a lot of those diseases. And then the second step is going to take care of a lot of insects in the eggs when they hatch out. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take some antiseptic mouthwash. And I'm going to recommend using 1 cup of this, and we're just going to mix it in our container here. You don't have to go with the Listerine brand, but they sell this generic brand a lot cheaper at the dollar store. So we're going to mix 1 cup. I'm going to put that in our picture so we can mix it later. And then we're going to take half a cup of Castile soap. Now this is one of the safest soaps you can buy. It's safe for your garden and it won't damage the soil. We're going to take 1/2 cup of this soap. Okay, and it's safe for your plants. You don't have to worry about anything being killed. And then this solution rate is going to just make the soil that much healthier next year. Now the next thing we want to do is we just want to swish this around and give it a good mix. Now I'm going to use the hose-in sprayer today to demonstrate how easy this is. Of course, the backpack sprayer works just as well. This is a brand new sprayer. I haven't even gotten the instructions out of it yet because I order these probably 2 or 3 a year because I'm always mixing new products. So I have a ton of these around the greenhouse, so I think they're one of the best things to use. Now we're going to top it off. Once we put our mix in there, we're going to top it to the very top of it and then hook it up to our hose. This makes it easier for the water to be pulled off the top. A lot of times if it's not filled up to the top, and this naturally puts water in there, there's a natural way that does that once we open the sprayer or once we connect the sprayer. So it's just a good idea to put this to the very top, reattach our lid, and now we're going to go out to the garden and we're going to do an overspray of one of the beds. All right, so I'm going to make sure I'm on camera here, and I'm going to attach our hose to the end of our hose-in sprayer. And like I say, this will put a solid 6 gallons of product on the soil. So this is going to be more than enough for more than just one bed. It's a little bit tricky here because my hose is nearly worn out. I think it's time for a new one. We'll just do that right there. I'm going to attach the product here, and I'm going to go back and cut the water on and just do an overall spray and just give you a demonstration of how to do that. Now these hose-in sprayers have an on-off switch on the side, so that makes it super easy to work with. So we're going to just do a quick overspray, and I would guesstimate about 1.5 minutes to each bed. So then once that's dry, that's a one-time spray in the fall, and then one time again in the springtime that we do that. The second product we may apply more than once in the fall and then maybe more than once in the winter. Diatomaceous earth is one of the most natural and safe insect killers. It's completely organic and it's completely safe. You can do your research on it, but there's a lot of positive things to say about it. Now the way I apply that to the garden, I use any type of kitchen strainer, whether I'm doing an individual plant or I'm doing an entire garden bed. I can just put it in there, go around that area, and just tap it lightly and put a dusting of diatomaceous earth all across the bed. Now the next step is subjective based on how many square foot of garden you have. If you just have a very small garden, you won't need near this much, but I usually use anywhere from 2 to 6 cups across the entire garden. But I don't do it all at once because I have plants dying in succession. Like this one has reached its end of the summer. So I'm going to just start out with about 2 cups of diatomaceous earth, and I'm going to put it in our kitchen strainer. And I'm just going to go around each bed and lightly tap this, the ones that have already been cleaned out, but that's once our initial spray has dried. So this 2-step process is going to eliminate a lot of problems for next year's vegetable garden, and we're killing diseases before they happen, and we're preventing a lot of insect problems, so when they hatch out, this kills them right away. Now diatomaceous earth is most effective in its dry powdery form. Once it gets wet, or if you've watered the ground, it becomes much less effective. So the thing we want to remember is diatomaceous earth may be something you want to do just once a month throughout the winter months when it's a little bit warmer, when you have possibly some insects that may be hatching out. So just remember, this is a one time in the fall, one time in the spring, and this could be up to a monthly treatment, and your next year's garden is going to be much healthier and much less insect free. So guys, if you have a question about this video or any previous video, please become a public subscriber first. I put those questions to the very front of the line of anyone who's subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, there's a Patreon. You can look in the link, and I have a lot of free PDFs. You can download different types of recipes and things I've put in there, and there's some early release videos for people who have actually joined and a member of the Patreon. I really appreciate you, and it really makes a huge difference to me to see there's outside support, and I don't feel totally alone doing this. So guys, I really appreciate you watching, and have a great day.